Hello, financial enthusiasts around the world. Today we delve into a unique topic. The intersection of finance and biblical wisdom. Will be exploring Genesis 4, 2b-8, an intriguing passage that narrates the tale of the first two sons of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. This narrative, while ancient, holds profound relevance to modern financial principles. So, let's dive into the story of Cain and Abel and discover what financial wisdom they can impart to us. Now, who were Cain and Abel, and what were their roles in this story? Well, Cain and Abel were the first two sons of Adam and Eve. Abel was a shepherd who kept flocks, while Cain was a farmer who worked the soil. These occupations were not random choices, but reflected their personalities and attitudes towards work and offerings. When it came to offerings, Abel brought fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock, essentially the best of what he had, showing his sincere respect and reverence for God. Cain, on the other hand, brought some fruits of the soil as an offering to God. The Bible doesn't specify if Cain's offering was the best he had, but God's response suggests it wasn't. This distinction between the brothers' offerings isn't just a tale of sibling rivalry or divine preference. It's a window into their hearts, their intentions, and their attitudes towards what they possessed. Through their offerings, we see their different attitudes, which sets the stage for the lessons to come. God's response to the offerings was surprising, but it carries a profound message. Abel, the shepherd, offered some of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. This was a valuable and sacrificial offering, representing the best of what Abel had. On the other hand, Cain, the farmer, brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering. Though it was hard-earned, the Bible does not mention it as being the best of his harvest. The interesting part of this story is God's response. He looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering he did not look with favor. It was not about the physical offerings themselves, but the heart behind the offering. Abel's offering was sincere and intentional, while Cain's lacked the same level of commitment and respect. The reaction of Cain to God's response was anger and a downcast face. This emotional response was a clear indication of Cain's disappointment, resentment, and jealousy. It was not just about his offering being rejected, but the favor his brother Abel received. God, in his infinite wisdom, did not ignore Cain's emotional state. He addressed it directly, telling Cain, "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." God's words to Cain serve as a warning and an invitation to self-reflection and change. It's a reminder that our intentions and actions matter, especially when it comes to giving and managing what we have. This is not just about money or physical offerings, but about the state of our heart and our attitude towards what we possess. God's words to Cain give us our first glimpse into the financial principles hidden in this story. From this story, we can extract several financial principles that apply even today. The first lesson we learn from the tale of Abel and Cain is the importance of sincerity and intentionality in our financial giving. Abel offered the firstborn of his flock, the best he had, to God. He did not give leftovers, but his first fruits. This act of giving the very best, the first and not the last, is a principle we can apply in our finances. Let's think about it. When we give our best in our financial commitments, whether it's paying off debt, saving for the future, or donating to a cause we care about, we're following Abel's example. We're putting our best foot forward, showing sincerity and intentionality in our financial decisions. The second lesson we draw from this story is about stewardship. Abel was a shepherd. He took care of his flock, ensuring they were well fed and safe. Similarly, we need to be good stewards of our finances. This means wisely managing what we have, making sure our money is working for us, not against us. It means being responsible, making informed decisions, and not being wasteful. Now, let's consider God's response to the offerings. God looked with favor on Abel's offering, but not on Cain's. This wasn't because God preferred sheep over crops. It was Abel's heart posture, his attitude towards giving, that pleased God. This teaches us that it's not just about how much we give or save, but the heart behind it. When we give generously with a cheerful heart, and when we manage our finances wisely, we position ourselves to receive financial blessings and favor. But what does this look like in practical terms? Imagine you're deciding how much to save each month. Instead of saving what's left after expenses, why not give your savings the first priority? This means deciding on a set amount or percentage to save each month and doing this first before any other expenses. This is a way to give your savings the first fruits, just like Abel. And when it comes to stewardship, it's about making smart choices. This could mean budgeting carefully, investing wisely, avoiding unnecessary debt, and being generous to those in need. It's about taking care of what you have, just like Abel took care of his flock. Finally, the heart behind our financial decisions matters. Are we saving and giving grudgingly or cheerfully? Are we managing our finances wisely out of fear, or because we understand the value of good stewardship? Our attitude can make a big difference. These principles, when properly understood, can revolutionize our financial practices. By following the lessons from the story of Abel and Cain, we can become better stewards of our finances, give with a sincere and cheerful heart, and position ourselves for financial blessings. Now that we understand these principles, how do we apply them to our financial lives today? The lessons from Genesis aren't just ancient history, they're guidelines that can steer our financial decisions in the 21st century. The crux of the matter is this: giving with the right heart is vital in our modern financial planning. Consider this: you've probably heard tales of people who amassed great wealth only to squander it all. Their downfall wasn't the lack of money, but the lack of the right attitude towards it. Like Cain, they were driven by the wrong motives, leading to their financial downfall. On the other hand, there are stories of individuals who, despite having modest means, have managed to create a significant impact with their resources. These are the Abels of our time, giving their best, not the leftovers, and doing so with a sincere heart. For instance, think about a small business owner who, despite facing economic turbulence, decides to continue supporting a local charity. Their giving isn't about the amount but the heart behind it. Or consider a well-off professional who, instead of flaunting their wealth, uses it to fund scholarships for deserving students. These modern-day examples encapsulate the essence of Abel's approach to giving. They demonstrate that the right heart in financial planning is about intentionality, sincerity, and a commitment to use our resources wisely. With these principles in mind, we can approach our finances with a fresh perspective. However, we must also be aware of the pitfalls that can derail our financial journey. Just like the warning of sin crouching at Cain's door in Genesis 4:7, negative financial habits can stealthily creep into our lives. They can come in the form of greed, where the desire for more blurs our distinction between needs and wants, or dishonesty, where one may resort to unethical means to gain financial advantage. Poor stewardship is another common pitfall. This is when we fail to manage our resources wisely, spending frivolously or neglecting to save for the future. These habits can lead us off the path of sound financial principles and into a cycle of monetary troubles. But remember, the warning in Genesis wasn't just about the danger. It was also about the possibility of mastery. We have the capacity to master these negative habits. By being aware of these pitfalls, we can guard against them and stay on the right financial path. In conclusion, this biblical story offers us valuable insights into handling our finances. We've learned about the importance of sincerity and intentionality in giving, the concept of stewardship, and the significance of giving from our first fruits. Applying these principles to modern finances can lead to financial blessings and favor. Let's guard against negative financial habits, such as greed, dishonesty, and poor stewardship. Remember to align your financial practices with these biblical principles. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay financially savvy.